You've looked in the mirror after a haircut and felt nothing. Not bad exactly, just less. And you couldn't explain it to anyone, including yourself. That feeling has a reason. The cut itself is doing something to your face, either working with your bone structure, your jaw, your skin, or quietly working against it. Most women over 60 don't know which side their haircut is on, and their stylist isn't going to bring it up unprompted. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 60, so you get real results fast. Today I'm covering 3 haircuts that genuinely take years off, and 3 that are quietly adding them back. All 6 are common. All 6 have real reasons behind them. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every single week. Part 1. The 2 haircuts that quietly take years off. Here's something most women don't know. The weight of your hair is aging you more than the color. Not the gray. Not the length. The weight. When hair sits heavy and flat against the jaw and neck, it drags the face down literally. Gravity is already doing that job on your skin. Your haircut should not be helping it. The first cut that changes this completely is the soft layered lob. A lob. That's a long bob, sitting anywhere from the jaw to just below the collarbone. Sounds simple, but the word layered is doing all the work. Layers cut into the right places lift the hair away from the face, rather than pulling it down. They create movement. They create air. And that air, visually, reads as lightness, and lightness reads as youth. Not in a trying hard way. In a woman who just looks like herself way. The specific version that works best for women over 60 is what I'd call a soft layered lob. Layers beginning around the cheekbone level and graduating down. Not choppy. Not aggressive. Soft graduation that creates a gentle internal structure in the hair itself. Why does this make such a visible difference? Because the layers around your face reframe it. They draw the eye to your cheekbones and your eyes, your best architectural features. And they soften the jaw without hiding it. A stylist I spoke with once put it this way. The lob is the one cut that flatters a face whether it's changed or not. It adapts. The key instruction to give your stylist, and be specific here, is soft internal layers starting at cheekbone level, nothing too short, keep the length gradual. Bring a photo. This is not the cut to leave to interpretation. What changes? You'll walk out and people will tell you that you look well rested, that you look like you've done something. They won't know it's the haircut. That's the point. The before and after swap on this one is exact. Heavy, one length lob that sits flat against the jaw, soft layered lob with movement, and lift starting at the cheekbone. Same length on the outside. Completely different experience on the face. Now, the second cut. And this one surprises people every time I bring it up. The textured pixie. Most women over 60 are scared of the pixie. They associate it with severity, with masculinity, with the kind of haircut that reads as, I've given up on my femininity. And I understand that fear completely. But a textured pixie is an entirely different animal from a severe close-cropped cut, and the difference is not subtle. A textured pixie has length on top, 2 to 3 inches, sometimes a little more. That's been cut with internal texture so it can be styled with movement. Pieces. Volume. It frames the forehead and the temples rather than exposing them. It's not tight to the skull. It lifts. Here's what the textured pixie does that longer cuts can't. It completely removes the weight that pulls on the face. That pulling effect, where the hair creates a downward visual line from the temple to the jaw, disappears. What you're left with is face. Just face. And for a woman with good bone structure, which most women over 60 have, because structure only gets more defined with age, that's a powerful thing. The styling is where this cut lives or dies. You need a product with light hold and some texture. Not heavy cream, not stiff spray. Work it through the top section with your fingers, not a brush, and push upward and forward. That lifts the crown and keeps the pieces soft. It takes 4 minutes once you've done it twice. Result. People read your face differently. Your eyes lead. Your cheekbones land. The jawline becomes a frame instead of the focal point. Exact before and after. Shoulder-length flat hair that pulls the face downward, textured pixie with crown volume, and defines soft pieces that lift the whole face forward. The next part is where things get harder to hear. Because the cuts I'm covering next are ones you might love. And one of them is probably on your head right now. Part 2, the one cut that does everything. Nobody talks about the collarbone line. And it's one of the most important decisions in a haircut for women over 60. Here's why. The collarbone is where the eye naturally stops when it travels downward from the face. Hair that ends just above or at the collarbone creates a horizontal visual break that lifts everything above it. Your face, your neck, your shoulders. The eye reads the whole upper body as a unit, and that unit looks taller, lighter, and more pulled together than it actually is. This is the logic behind the soft face-framing bob, and why it's the single most reliably flattering cut for women over 60 who want length without heaviness. The face-framing element is the part most women skip, and it's the part that changes everything. Face-framing layers are specific pieces cut shorter around the face, usually starting at the cheekbones, sometimes a little lower, that curve toward your features rather than falling away from them. They frame the eyes. They soften the temples. They do what glasses do for a face. They direct attention to your best features and create a border around them. Add waves to this. Not tight curls, not a blowout, but loose, soft, natural-looking waves, and the bob transforms. Waves create depth that flat hair simply cannot have. And depth, in hair, reads as volume. Volume reads as health. And healthy hair on a woman over 60 is one of the most quietly age-reversing things you can have. How to get the waves? You don't need a curling iron. A large barrel wand, 1.5 to 2 inches. Wrap sections loosely, hold for 8 seconds, release without touching. Let them cool completely before you run your fingers through. Once cooled, just loosen them with your hands. The result is a wave that looks like it grew that way. Here's the snapback. The thing this cut actually changes about how people read you. Women who switch to a soft face-framing bob with waves consistently report one specific shift. They stop feeling invisible. Not in a loud way. In a quiet, I walked into a room and someone looked up way. That's the face-framing doing its job. It creates a draw to the face that blunt, flat hair simply doesn't have. The instructions for your stylist. Collarbone length, face-framing layers starting at the cheekbone, not too short, keep the weight at the ends for movement. And specifically ask for what's called a C-curve blow-dry. The stylist blows the ends under and inward as they dry rather than straight down. That single technique is what creates the softness that makes this bob look elevated rather than dated. One thing most stylists won't tell you unless you ask. The part matters. A slightly off-center part on a bob creates asymmetry that reads as modern. A dead center part on a bob of this length can read stiff and severe, even with the waves. If you've been parting your hair down the middle for years, shift it 1 inch to the left or right. That's it. The whole cut will read differently. Exact before and after. Blunt flat bob with dead center part, soft face framing bob with loose waves and a shifted part that frames the face and draws the eye upward. What's coming next is the part of this video that will save you from a decision you might be about to make, because one of the 3 cuts I'm covering in the next section is sitting in the search bar of almost every woman who's watched this far. And it's a mistake. Part 3. The 2 cuts that are quietly aging you. The most requested haircut among women over 60, according to stylists who work with this age group exclusively, is also one of the most reliably aging ones. Not because short hair ages you. It doesn't, as we've just seen. But because the specific version most women ask for does. That cut is the severe close-cropped short cut. The one that sits tight to the skull, with nothing on top, nothing at the temples, nothing framing the face. Sometimes called a close crop. Sometimes described as easy or low maintenance. And it is easy to maintain, but it's costing you something you probably don't realize. Here's what happens to a face over 60 with a severe close crop. Every feature becomes fully exposed. There's no frame. No softness. Nothing to direct the eye or create a border. Your full jaw is on display. Your temples, where volume naturally disappears first after 60, are fully visible. Your forehead is uninterrupted. All of those things are fine, individually. But without any framing, the eye reads the whole face as a single flat plane rather than a series of elevated features. A flat plane reads as older. Not because of anything wrong with the face. The woman is naturally beautiful in this haircut, but because depth and dimension are visual signals of vitality. Framing creates that depth. The severe cut removes it entirely. The fix, if you love short hair, and many women do, is exactly what we covered in part 1. The Textured Pixie keeps the spirit of short hair, but adds the 2 inches on top that create movement, frame the face, and restore dimension. The close crop is one instruction to your stylist away from becoming a pixie with volume. It's worth the conversation. Before and after. Severe close cropped cut with no framing. All features fully exposed textured pixie with top length and soft movement. I drawn to the face as a framed feature rather than a flat plane. Now the second cut in this part. And this one is harder to say because I know how much some of you love it. Long flat one-length hair. Not long hair. Long hair, done right, with the right cut and the right styling, can be beautiful at any age. But long, flat, one-length hair, where the hair falls straight down from the roots with no internal layering, no texture, no movement, and usually significant weight, is doing something to a face over 60 that most women can't see from the front. Here's the physics of it. Weight pulls down, and long flat hair is heavy. It creates a continuous downward line from the top of the head to wherever the ends fall, often the mid-back or lower. That downward line visually elongates the neck and jaw area, which sounds good but isn't. It pulls the eye down, it pulls the face down, and it makes the jaw and neck, the areas that change most visibly after 60, the center of the composition. The stylist's secret most women never hear. The volume at the top of the hair, the crown and the area just behind the temples, is what visually lifts the entire face. When long, one-length hair is flat at the crown, the face loses its anchor. Everything reads as sitting lower than it is. If you want to keep length, the adjustment is internal layering. Layers cut underneath and throughout the mid-lengths that don't change the visual length when the hair is down but create interior movement and reduce the weight. Ask for invisible layers or internal movement layers. Your stylist will know exactly what you mean. Combined with a loose wave, this single change converts a face-dragging cut into one that genuinely lifts. Before and after. Long flat one-length hair with no movement, same length with internal movement layers and a loose wave, crown lifted, face framed, the whole structure reversed. The last cut in this series is the one I get the most pushback on. Women love it. It's everywhere. And I understand why. But there's something nobody's telling you about what it's doing to your face, specifically after 60. That's next. Part 4. The one cut most women don't suspect. Item 6. Heavy blunt fringe / bang. Here's a fact that will change how you look at half the women you see. A heavy blunt fringe, the kind that sits thick and straight across the forehead at eyebrow level, actually shortens the visible face by a third. Not metaphorically. Geometrically. You cover the forehead, you remove the top third of the face from view, and the remaining 2/3 get compressed into a smaller visible frame. For a woman in her 30s, this can work beautifully. The skin is taut, the forehead is smooth, and the compression creates a cute, youthful framing effect. For a woman over 60, it does something very different. After 60, the forehead is often one of the most structurally refined parts of the face. It's smooth, it has character, and it connects the eyes to the hair in a way that reads as elegant when it's visible. Cover it with a thick horizontal band of hair, and you lose that connection entirely. The eyes become smaller. The face looks squarer, and the brow, where expression lives, disappears under the fringe. There's also a practical issue that nobody discusses. A heavy blunt fringe requires precise upkeep. It needs cutting every 3 to 4 weeks to stay at the right length, or it starts to hang in the eyes or sit too flat. Most women aren't cutting their hair that frequently, which means most women with a blunt fringe are wearing it at the wrong length at least half the time. At the wrong length, a heavy blunt fringe doesn't just age, it can look unkempt. And unkempt is the one look that adds years faster than anything else. The specific version to avoid is the heavy, one-length fringe that sits solid across the brow. Thick. Blunt. No texture, no variation, no openings. This is the fringe that compresses the face and demands constant maintenance. Here's the alternative, and it's a significant one. A sideswept fringe, or a soft curtain fringe, does something completely different. It opens the forehead rather than covering it. It creates an asymmetrical frame that draws the eye diagonally across the face rather than cutting it horizontally. The forehead stays partially visible. The brow stays visible. The face reads as longer and more open. A curtain fringe is also dramatically lower maintenance. It grows out gracefully rather than hanging in the eyes. You can go 6 to 8 weeks between trims and it still looks intentional. The longer it gets, the more it blends into the face framing layers around it. It works with the face rather than sitting on top of it. The styling for a curtain fringe. Use a round brush and a blow dryer on medium heat. Dry the fringe forward first, then sweep each side back and away from the center with the brush while the heat is still on. Finish with a light hold spray, not a stiff one. The fringe should look placed, not cemented. What changes? And I hadn't noticed your eyes before moment. When the fringe no longer covers the brow and compresses the upper face, the eyes become the immediate focal point. And a woman over 60 with her eyes leading a room is a completely different visual experience from a woman whose brow is obscured. Exact before and after. Heavy blunt fringe covering the full forehead and brow, soft curtain fringe swept to both sides. Forehead open, eyes leading, face reading longer and more refined. If you've been wearing a heavy blunt fringe for years, this is the one change I'd make before any other. It costs nothing to ask your stylist to soften and reshape what's already there. You're not growing it out, you're redirecting it. It takes one appointment. And the difference, on a face over 60, is immediate. You now know exactly which 3 haircuts are working for your face and which 3 are working against it. And more importantly, you know why. Not guesses. Not trends. The actual mechanics of what a haircut does to how a face over 60 is read. The layered lob lifts. The textured pixie frames. The soft face framing bob with waves draws the eye exactly where you want it. And the 3 to avoid, the severe close crop, the long flat single length, the heavy blunt fringe, each have a specific, solvable problem with a specific fix waiting on the other side. Tell me in the comments. Which of these 6 are you currently wearing, and are you changing it? Next week I'm covering the 5 styling products women over 60 are still using that are quietly flattening and aging their hair. And the ones that actually work. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.